Hello, I'm John Shepherd, and in this video we're going to look at the coaching of young triple jumpers. We're going to look at how I develop the various phases and also how the guys actually develop throughout a number of training sessions. We'll look at the faults they develop and the ways that I attempt to correct them. Triple jump is obviously a pretty complex event. You have to come in at speed and then perform 3 phases, your hop, step and jump. Invariably there's going to be a fault somewhere along the line in one of those particular phases or through the run-up and the takeoff. This will therefore mean that it's very unlikely that any jumper of any level is going to get the perfect jump. With experience, the jumper will be more able to correct errors, mistakes within their actual jumps. So, as is my philosophy with the majority of my training, we do a lot of drills to develop the components of the triple jump, such as these skipping drills, where the objective is to lift from the thigh and push the foot out in front of the body to make a contact with the heel, a dynamic heel-led contact. The arms are very important to these particular drills, and you need to get them in the right place, high up behind the shoulders to add propulsion. This young athlete was working on this, and you'll see that on some of the contacts, skips, his arms are in the right place, and on others they're not, and this actually transfers into his actual jumping, as we'll see later. You can see here with this hop-step combination that the arms are drawn back into that position, the double arm high up behind the shoulders position. That will assist. So that shows a direct transference, and here we see it again with the skipping drill. So the shoulders are relaxed, the arms go back, and then they drive through forwards and long to the front. You have to wait for the ground with the foot contact. Don't snap. Perhaps the key component with the hop is how the jumper runs onto it. They can't push their foot out in front of them, they need to run off of the takeoff. The arms need to be prepared for that takeoff, whether you're doing a quarter push or a double arm. So here this young athlete is working over and over again on his hop and his hopping technique. He has trouble getting his free thigh in front of his body and then cycling round. It's possible to see or to argue that he's pushing his foot too far out in front of him as he goes into the hop takeoff. He uses a quarter arm action and then lifts his arms up into the double arm for the next hop. Unfortunately, he's not pulling them back far enough behind his body, unlike this young athlete who's managed to master more the double arm movement. As with the long jump, you want to get this drive, this takeoff drive off of the hop before you make another movement. So taking another look, the thigh goes in, it's held, and then it's dropped, the leg is dropped long under the body to create the hopping arc, with the other leg coming out to the front. Now he could have reached a bit more, and you can see that he buckled on that particular effort, but it's only through repetition that you're going to learn how to do it properly. You're now watching the guy's first triple jump session at the pit after lockdown, and there was great transference between the drills they were doing in the parks at home and more latterly at the track. So we've seen the drive off of the hop and the arms going back behind the shoulders and swinging powerfully up between each phase. These jumps were off the 9-meter board off of 5 steps. This young athlete tends to rotate, particularly in the step phase, through his heel. His leg swings behind him and this twists him. As you can see on that landing there, he moves slightly to the right. However, he's also had a lot of problems with his jump phase and getting into a better position to get his legs out. But here, with the arms behind the body and the foot pressed in front, he's better balanced and gets a much better than normal jump phase. So it's progression, good progression here. Hitting those correct positions has to be ingrained, and then it will become automatic. With the development of strength and power, then the athlete is going to go forwards and further naturally. But without developing their technique and their technical awareness, then that's not going to happen optimally. So here in the jump phase, the arms could have been pushed back further behind the shoulders, which will then push the shoulders and head back, which will enable him to get a better landing and extend into the landing. Okay, now looking at another one of the jumpers, who we've seen earlier. That effort was particularly rushed, and it's partly because, again, he doesn't drive off of the hop sufficiently with the free leg to create rotation and length. So we've been really trying to work on this, and yes, it has, shall we say, messed up his jumping a little bit, but until he learns how to run off of the hop effectively, he's never going to achieve optimum distance. But as you can see, that effort there was better. His arms don't go back far enough either through the phases, and he was off balance on that effort, partly because he hit the long jump board and bounced upward. Let's focus on the arms throughout this particular effort. He runs into the board and he's going to use a quarter push technique with the arms then lifting. Then they should go right back behind the shoulders, but they don't. The left arm is slightly forwards. Then he's recovering in the step phase, and the arms don't really get into position either for the jump. Having said that, he then does get them high over his head in the jump phase and manages to get a good hang style. In this phase, you're trying to get as upright as you can to counteract the rotation that will inevitably ensue. And it can be, as with the other phases, a bit of a wrestle, but you've got to get the free leg in and the arms up overhead. But here you see a pretty good, in fact a very good landing for a triple jump landing. I've just added this clip in here of one of the jumpers training in lockdown, and you can actually see that his positions are better than when he's jumping at the pit. And sometimes you've got to tell the jumper not to rush, to relax more, and then the likelihood is that they're going to get the positions. As often they can start to go for distance and not think about the technical elements. It's a gradual approach. Introduce the technical elements, drill them over and over again, and then they will dovetail eventually into performance. And note, remember, think that not all jumpers are going to develop at the same pace. It will take time and the right conditioning. Speaking of which, I'll consider the conditioning of young triple jumpers and long jumpers in a future video. As usual, thanks for watching and good luck with your training and hopefully competitions. And if you've got any questions, please leave them in the section below this video or through my other social media. Go! I've had the FREELAP timing system for a number of months now, and I've been putting it to the test. If you'd like to find out more about it and potentially purchase a system, then do contact me directly. But here's some information. The system is extremely portable and accurate to 2/1000ths of a second. You no longer need to take up 3 lanes to time your athletes. Place the TX Junior Pro transmitters down on trackside, set up the app on your iPhone or phone or tablet, and you're ready to go. The FX chip BLE attaches to the waist of the athlete, and that's what sends the time to the receivers. It's simple and effective. It's been a great motivator and way to compare performances across the training year, not only between our athletes but with norms established by other jumpers, for example. We can now really see how fast we are. Hello, I'm John Shepherd, and I just wanted to talk to you about the second issue of the Jumper magazine that I've recently produced. Now, it's multimedia and contains numerous video links, articles and audio links, and product links as well. So we've got articles on horizontal speed for jumpers and just how fast you need to be to jump, for example, 8 meters. We've also got articles on how to safely return to training during and after lockdown, and articles on nutrition for jumpers, for example, on how you can reduce weight safely for competitions. We've also got a great interview with Marcus Lundberg from the Triple Jumpers podcast, and he talks about his career as a triple jumper and also how he started Triple Jumpers Media. And we've also got a couple of interviews, for example, with one of the top UK long jumpers, JIG-SAW. So do check out the jumper. You can download it as a PDF or view it online from the link which you'll find below the video. If you're interested in advertising in the jumper or contributing as a coach or an athlete, do get in contact with me and let me know what you think of it.